Hello, everybody. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by all of the kind folks who donate to the show on a monthly basis through our Patreon page. I've just updated the rewards on our Patreon page, so I highly recommend that you check it out if you're interested in donating at all. You can find that at www.patreon.com/frogystyle. That's frog, the letter E, _style. If you donate $1 a month, you will gain access to all of the bonus content that I've been releasing. I think I've released about 5 or 6 episodes of bonus content just this month. And those episodes, those interviews, you'll only be able to find on our Patreon page and on our new YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to that as well if you're interested in more of my voice, I guess. There's a $5 reward too through our Patreon page. So if you give $5 a month, you'll receive a t-shirt, as well as all the lower tier rewards. There's also a $3 tier and a $25 tier. So yeah, check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting the show at all. www.patreon.com/frogystyle. If you're fans of the show at all, I highly recommend you check out our website and maybe subscribe to our newsletter. The website is fsproductions.ca. To subscribe to the newsletter is like the first thing you're going to see when you go to the website. So if you're interested in that, just sign up with your email. The newsletter will include things like show schedules, like who's coming up next on the podcast and stuff like that. And it also enters you into a draw, or multiple draws, I guess, that take place on a fairly regular basis, for cool prize packs from local artists and merch and t-shirts and all of that kind of fun stuff. So I highly recommend that you sign up for the newsletter. And also, while you're at fsproductions.ca, just check out the website. There's a lot of other really cool things on there. That's where all my podcasts are collected. There's also articles, and there's a creative writing page. So yeah, look around while you're there. fsproductions.ca. On this episode of Groove Talk, I am joined by Julius Sumner Miller. We did this podcast at the Ship and Anchor, so thank you to them, but that also means that there's a lot of background noise. But the conversation's still good, and it's actually not that hard to hear what everybody's saying, so that's good. Julius Sumner Miller is nominated for Group of the Year by the YYC Music Awards, as well as Metal Recording of the Year. It was really fun talking to these guys about their thoughts on the YYC Music Awards, and they're just really fun guys. The guys just recently released a new album. It's called Rock Around the Radius. I highly recommend you check that out. It's really cool. I'll have all the links of where you can find that in the episode notes, but I mean, Bandcamp is always a good resource. Also, jsm.band. That might be Bandcamp, actually. That is Bandcamp. Okay, cool. Well, you can pick it up there. So I highly recommend, you give it a listen. And I hope you enjoy this conversation with the guys from Julius Sumner Miller, who are nominated for YYC, or by the YYC Music Awards for Group of the Year. Thanks for listening.
This is Groove Talk with Froggy Style.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Groove Talk. On this episode, I am joined by Julius Sumner Miller.
Whoop, whoop.
And we are at the Ship and Anchor Pub.
As you can hear, the environment.
6 o'clock in the afternoon, the loudest oil and gas guys in the world behind us suddenly. So.
Yeah. So you guys are nominated for a couple YYC Music Awards.
Yeah, Group of the Year and Metal Band of the Year, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Is it metal recording?
No, I think we're the Metal Band of the Year. Maybe the Metal Recording, whatever.
Let's go back to that Group of the Year, though. Because I just want to say, like, aren't we running against, like, who am I thinking of?
It doesn't matter who we're running against. We're the Group of the Year.
Jan Arden. She doesn't stand a chance.
She's a metal band?
Abductees, I think, are nominated.
No, I don't think they are. In fact, I've never heard of that band.
If that band were to be nominated, they wouldn't win. Perfect, thank you.
Awesome. So what does it feel like being nominated?
It's pretty bizarre
Yeah.
for two reasons. Because we're not a metal band. And the other thing, Group of the Year is as a punk rock band, you don't get accolades normally. So when it actually comes down, it's a sweet pat on the back that we're doing something right.
No, it's true. Yeah, it doesn't. That's sort of one of the things you sign up for when you start playing 100. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, when you start playing punk rock, you definitely don't. You're not doing it because it's going to be celebrated by other people outside of punk rock. So I don't know. I thought that was a really bizarre, wonderful move. So yeah, very pleasantly surprised. Let's say that.
So did you guys kind of just get lumped into the metal category then, or how did that happen?
There was no punk rock category, and we put out records all the time, and I was like, well, that sucked. So I was like, I entered us into the metal category and the alt rock category.
I was gonna say, is there a hard rock or alt
or
rock?
whatever, one of those. And I guess they
deemed it.
we stuck with the metal ones, so
Okay.
maybe they were lacking in metal entries, so we fell in there or something.
Did you also put yourself into the Band of the Year? Or is
No,
that something
they picked that, I think.
Yeah,
There was no,
Okay.
That's fantastic.
or maybe we did. I don't remember.
YYC Music Awards are new to everybody, so I think as they're figuring it out, we're figuring it out, and I can't wait to figure it out with them this year. It's gonna be a wild show.
Yeah, hopefully next year we can play the gala.
Yes, that's what we're shooting for. As soon as we got these things, I was already planning our stage show, and Darren said, I don't think we're playing this, and I was like, but we're us. Haven't they seen us? We're going to be the most entertaining band on that stage. And
We can still plan our outfits, though.
Oh, don't get me
Tinfoil
started.
suit. I'm wearing tinfoil. I'll outsparkle your Mr. Sparkle jacket.
It'll go nice with my tinfoil hat that I always wear.
Yes. Have you heard about 9/11? It happened yesterday. What? 16 years ago.
Oh.
Okay, that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. Thank God Johnny's not here.
Yep.
Let's all say that together. Thank God Johnny's not here.
Cheers.
Here's to Johnny.
So this is only the second year of the YYC Music Awards, right? You guys.
Yeah, I never.
As far as I know.
And I really didn't even look into it enough the first year that I didn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah.
And then I was at my other job, and on a whim, they did a post. We're still looking for bands to enter, and I was like, "Well, I got $20. Let's
enter.
let's enter."
I want to say a little piece about the YYC Music Awards, and I've been thinking about this a lot because, especially last year when it started, I mean, it's been simmering on the surface for, it feels like almost a decade, and they get a lot of I can swear on this podcast. They get a lot of shit for being cheesy and like getting their friends in or like not knowing what they're doing and stuff. But talk to anybody from Edmonton about the Edmonton Music Awards, And like 10 years ago, they're like, this is a joke. And now it's in like a big, beautiful theater. Like all the real bands from Edmonton all apply and they all sort of, I think, win respectively. And it's something that people actually look forward to. And so I'm really like, as much as I might have said a couple off comments about these guys last year, I'm really excited to see them just actually doing something about it and being like, well, you know, fuck you, Calgary needs an award show, so we're gonna do it. And I'm happy to be like part of these first couple of years of like, oh, all right, let's see how this goes and let's see how we can make this better and be a part of it. And
well, it's easy enough to tear people down. It's really hard as hell to build something. So there you go.
And because it's in its infancy, JSM might actually have a shot at winning this stuff.
Group of the year.
All we gotta do is get the judges drunk.
Just slip. Yeah.
And the other cool thing too is we don't know anybody from this thing, right? Like we have
this isn't
like, we're
great
all
for us.
We're all connected in the city pretty deep, but this is legit. Like I don't even know who runs this thing really, and it's so to actually get acknowledged on merit alone in a city that we've all existed in for so long is
true.
A really cool story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So what would it mean to you guys to like win, I guess?
It would mean success.
Yeah.
I just,
And winning.
what Darren said before, I don't think punk rock ever gets a pat on the back. So like we are not going into this thinking, like we already won. That's,
Oh, we're gonna win.
we already won. And we, you know,
No, you're not getting it. We are going to win.
Yeah, we're gonna be killing other bands. Can we say killing other bands? No.
We do kill other bands live and
Metaphorically.
recording.
Yeah. Anyway, metaphorical.
Sorry, what were you
no,
saying
I
about
like
us
that.
not winning?
no, we already won, and we're going to win. Yeah. So I guess if you're asking how it feels to win, it feels really good.
And if we don't win, we still won.
I've already got the trophy on my wall.
There you go. That's what I want to say. Yeah. We already won, and if we don't, we won.
So I
And
get,
then when it's all said and done, if we don't win, actually, we're gonna have a plan just telling people that we won. And I think that this award, like I said earlier, it's still in its infancy enough that somebody will just probably believe us. So I think we can swindle our way to pulling this off.
Great rock and roll game.
It's very punk rock of us. to
yeah,
pull that off.
yeah, definitely. I'm sure you guys could like make an award too. You know.
Oh, you should.
like,
We have a bowling trophy.
Yeah,
picked
there's
out
already
in
a plan in the works for us to bring our own little trophies. Even for like the red carpet at the beginning for photos. Like we'll already have the trophies. We'll be like, hashtag group of the year.
a finalist. I got a lot of those.
I don't know why I'm
hot-
telling these plans to you, but I'm an open book.
Yeah. Yeah, when's this coming out again?
So I guess what, in your guys' opinions, what makes Calgary a special place for music?
Each other. Because we live here.
Yeah, you know, we could say a lot of nice flowery things, but there's not a lot of other choices.
We're way better than every other place because this is where we live, I guess. Like, what else are you going to say? We're way better than Regina. I don't know.
Well, okay, and objectively we are. That's just not even like. I think there's a little thing to this. I think that Calgary's on this precipice of becoming a real Canadian city, and I say that in regards to like a Montreal, a Toronto, a Vancouver, a Windsor, Ontario, just real cities. And though, you know, it's you. I think the things that you create when there's something to prove, and when you have your own scene. That's, I mean, we're big enough that we're still pretty incestuous, but it's big enough now that I think people are kind of like choosing new genres and new directions. We're not all like one scene. It's not like just a punk rock scene or just this indie rock kind of thing. It's a lot of stuff, and like you gotta prove yourself. Sorry, the people in the background are just great. Ship and anchor. Yeah, but when you gotta prove yourself, and when you got, and everyone in Canada kind of looks at you as like Calgary. It's fucking awesome to come out and like have people tour through here and be like, holy shit, you know, and have to tour other places. I mean, we don't tour a lot. That's not really our band's thing. But when we do, it's always like, what the fuck was that? Like, where you guys been hiding? So I don't know. I like being the underdogs. I think that's the Calgary thing.
Yeah, for
Very wealthy underdogs. I mean, I'm not talking about us, but the guys behind us.
Calgary's cool too because as this town grows, the bigger the bands come through, and the town, and because of that, bands that you wouldn't think would have come here 10 years ago are now playing here, and there's 700 people showing up to these things. So bands from Middle America or Ontario are like, holy crap, we got to come back here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a dynamic of vibrance that
We're on the up. We're on the up. It's growing and it's getting better. And I think like the bottom line, it's that it's awesome to be part of something that's getting better.
Definitely.
The thing about Calgary is like the location. Like, West Coast is very easily accessible. America is really easy to get to. You can travel around a bit. I don't know. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, well, I guess in regards to that, a lot of people have to come this way, you know.
Yeah.
You stop in Vancouver, if you're doing a cross-Canada thing, it's just easy to stop in Calgary,
Totally.
you know.
Why would you stop in Edmonton?
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well play Yellowknife.
We're playing a really great show in Edmonton this
whatever.
week.
Edmonton's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, when have we ever
We
had a
actually have
bad
a better
time?
fan base in Edmonton than we do in Calgary.
Really?
Yeah.
But I do agree with you guys, though. Like, there's so many different scenes in Calgary, and they all seem to be like thriving at the moment. You know, the hip hop scene, the
The
punk
hip
rock
hop scene is fucking awesome
Yeah.
too. I was, I hate to say it, I forget about it, and then I go out to one show where I go to 10 at 10, and it's like, oh shit, right? Like this is happening in a whole other world that I'm not a part of.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess, how did the whole band come together?
We've all lived in this town for too long.
Yeah.
We've all been in 100 other bands, and one day we decided to have this band.
Yeah.
We thought, let's take the best members of all of those other bands.
Starring Glenn Murdoch on bass.
And then we asked Glenn. So
Yeah, I just showed up.
We thought you could also do sound
we've all just been pals over the years, and
Darren got me through university. I think that's how I started. I had my last course that was a I had to do like work experience in the field I wanted to do, and so I worked at the New Black Center, which Darren started. And at the New Black, we just had to hang out because that was kind of my job. And then after hanging out for a little while, we're kind of like, I don't know, something clicked.
yeah, we're just like, hey, you want to play guitar with this band we're doing? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then me and Glenn were hanging out, and then Johnny started hanging out, and the rest is history.
Magic happened.
Awesome. So you guys released a album like fairly recently here.
Yeah.
They're stoked about it.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
It officially came out last week, so.
Oh, really?
But we've had it. It's kind of been out for a couple months now. So.
Okay.
Just like me.
Hugs and kisses.
So I guess would you mind walking us through the process of how that kind of came together? I guess.
That was a fun record.
Yeah, we.
That's a good story.
It's a really good story. Well, we put up this record that we're luckily nominated for Group of the Year, and hopefully we'll win. And that was called, our first release was Why Is It So? And we ripped off about 8 songs, I think, and put it out. And it went over really well. There's some fucking bangers. That album's good. But we
I was a big fan. That's before I was in the band.
and then Rich joined the band. This is exactly what happened. Rich joined the band, and we started jamming on a regular basis, like weekly. And when you actually start on this regiment of professionalism, we started pounding out other songs, and everything seemed to be going good, and we kept getting shows and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
Shows kept getting bigger.
And so we're like, well, we need more stuff. So, unlike any other band in the world, and waiting to write a whole album, we actually booked recording time before we actually had songs written. And it was like, all right, we're in the studio in 2 months. Let's write 10 songs. And
Cool, we got 2. Let's go!
yeah.
Well, we had so many. We were like this band that was famous for phone memos. So we would party at our practice and write like a couple cool riffs or a couple things, and then like 3 weeks later be like, what the fuck did we do? But then our phones collectively, everyone, because we'd all record different songs, we put them all together. We're like, I think there's a record here, and we had to work so hard. I remember that last 2 weeks before recording, just being like so stressed, like we got to make this good. And it just, I remember the last practice before we went into recording, just thinking like, holy fuck, we found something special. We worked our butt off. Thank you, Darren, for just booking this and just believing that we're gonna fucking finish it. And you were coming up with lyrics on the like down to the wire. And some of the lyrics you wrote, some of the lyrics that Darren wrote on this record are hands down. There's like heartbreak, like this, this crazy story about this girl dying. There's the most clever lyrics I've ever heard in like a tongue-in-cheek. It's like I think we all brought our A game to this record, and sort of the way in which it was structured just because of time constraints. It just brought the best out in us.
Yeah, it was intense, man.
When we were recording it, one of my favorite parts.
Can I get another fat tire? Yeah, fat tire, sorry.
Sorry, one of my
ordering
favorite
more
parts,
booze.
Yeah, we're ordering more booze. I got to record. So Rich and I are the guitar players. We got to play at the same time. So we're sitting in the studio, and all of the guitar that you hear on the record is us playing together at the same time, same take, and there's just like this vibe, and it's a little bit of whiskey, it's a little bit of beer, it's a lot of this weird pasta stuff.
Little bit.
Come on. I don't remember recording this album.
It took us 2 hours to wake you up.
I'm glad you remember.
And then, it was incredible. We pulled it off. Darren did the vocals in like 4 hours on one of the nights. Just went in there, had a bottle of George Dickel, and just
10 songs.
just
3 hours.
unloaded all the lead vocals.
And I legitimately couldn't talk for a week and a half after.
Yeah, I've never seen a vocalist do that before. Anyway, Glenn was pretty good too.
Thanks, Sean.
No, you were.
So
Your
was Johnny.
tone was ferocious. Are you kidding?
So is
Fuck
that
Johnny's not here.
is that kind of how did doing it that way, was that beneficial for you guys? Did it kind of give you that
It really is, I think, because we're not by the clock professional, like whatever. We work the best when we're having the best time, and so in that environment where we're just jokes and laughs and booze and high fives and stuff like that, and we're actually at our peak creatively and our peak performance. If you ever see us live, it's the same way. We're not. It's not like, all right, this is gonna happen and then this is gonna happen. It's like, let's just go and slay these people, and
We have the best fucking time at our show. The highlight of my week is when we play our show. It's fucking incredible, and I think we did that in the studio where it was just like, I think I showed up. I missed some of the first couple hours or something, and I remember being so sad driving up knowing that everyone had been having fun without me for like 4 hours.
We already had the inside jokes.
Yeah, you did. I was like behind on the inside jokes,
That's the
and I
worst.
was just like, but then we got in the groove, and it just like, we just have the best fucking time doing what we do. It's like, there's nothing more fun than this. So awards, record sales, downloads, listens, streams is really what it is.
it's
now.
all cool to have.
It's cool, but man, we are just having, like, we're doing this for us.
Yeah.
And that's,
Well, I think that resonates too in our records, in our
Yeah.
performance. It's no bullshit. Like, it's like when you listen to Van Halen 2, you know that they were fucking partying when they had that record, and because of that, that's one of the best party records in the world, right? And I'm not comparing us to Van Halen, but it's just that vibe of you can feel the fun and the camaraderie in that in recording, and you can see it when we play live, and there's nobody can touch us when we're playing live. It's the best, bro.
That's how you get good art, man. You experience the emotion you're expressing. They do express it well. There's your art.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But into it.
Do you guys' shows get like pretty rowdy then?
Oh yeah, especially, and
It's been picking up.
it just keeps every time we play it, just banger, banger, banger. Like,
At the last show, someone was right in front of me with his leg up on the stage, just kind of watching with a drink on his knee, like not moving around while everyone else is going crazy. And I just smacked the drink out of his hand. I'm like, don't you dare ruin the show for me.
Yeah, that one was a banger. That was.
and from our first show to our last, reluctantly over the years, it's always been like the first 3 or 4 songs, everybody's in the back with their arms folded, and then they kind of get lost into it, and then it becomes. But now it's just like first note, bang. So
I'll never forget that playing in Edmonton, opening for SNFU, and we in the first 10 seconds of this first song, there's like a circle pit, and we're the opening band. Like we are the bottom of the barrel, and it was just like, and it's kind of only gotten even better from there. And so.
And then sometimes we'd be playing, and I'll just like it's amazing, like that feeling when everybody's just losing their shit for it. You know, I look over at Sean and be like, "Holy fuck, dude, this is rad!" And it's not you're not getting braggadocious or ego about it. You're just like, I'm like, fuck, like this is so dope. And then when you're catching that excitement back on you, we're just gonna even bring it even hotter. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Thank you.
It's crazy what you are able to emote as a human being when you're getting that feeling from other people. It's just like. I've said this before, but I mean it. It really only exists in punk rock, I think, and it's like there's no drug that's better, you know. And like, yeah, definitely like some like party rock and roll has this feeling too. But like, when people are going crazy, then you get to be this crazy that you didn't even know you had, and it is
level up,
fucking awesome. Yeah, level up. Yeah. So anyway, thanks to everyone who like rocks out at those shows, because man, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same.
And I'm sorry for smacking that drink out of your hand.
It probably made an impact. And you probably bought a T-shirt. So thanks for your $10.
I think he did.
Yeah, or he died of dehydration, you son of a bitch.
So would you guys say that you're almost like addicted to performing then, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know what to do, man.
Definitely.
Well, I had to face it. I was addicted to Spuds.
Yeah, I turned 30. I'm like
Here we go.
younger in the band.
He's the
no.
youngest guy in the band right here. Turned 30.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, I had one of my friends, Dawn Locks, came up to me and she was like, she saw one of my like acoustic. I play these acoustic things on the side a lot of times to make money, and she was just like, you know, I know some part of you wants to just be like this singer-songwriter, but you clearly don't get your kicks from that. You clearly get your kicks from playing punk rock. Because that night I had a show with JSM later, so I played this acoustic thing, and then like we went and had the show at Vern's and just like tore the roof off that place. And you know, it's like at some point you gotta like come to terms with who you really are. And I think like we wouldn't do this at this point in our lives, at this point in our careers, we wouldn't do this if we were like not totally fucking addicted or in love with it. So
Well, Sean, I believe Lemmy said it best when he said, "Keep it up, rock and roll. Good music, save your soul."
thanks. That was like 6 words-ish. Yeah.
So it sounds like you've all kind of played in a lot of bands in the past and stuff. So what makes this band different from maybe some of those other bands?
This buttered chicken, it's fucking unreal.
Focus.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really
These
good.
fries are amazing.
I know.
For me personally, it's the crew. Like, there's nobody, no one's disillusioned by rock stars. No one's doing this to pay their rent. Every ounce of money we make off this thing goes into making the next record, and there's no.
Or paying a bar tab.
Yeah, or paying a bar tab, or it's just fun, and that's. I think we've all been in enough shitty bands to know that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore. So. And if you don't like something, like, let's talk about it, maybe, or don't just
I've been in bands
jump
that are.
into.
What's not to like?
I've been in
Yeah, that's
bands
sort
that
of
are-
it. We haven't really had that thing yet where it's like, look,
You did, and now I'm here.
yeah, actually that's true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose so. But
Dude, I've been in bands that are way less successful and way more stressful. And it's like, that's a fucking weird paradox to me.
Yeah.
Like,
The opposite.
we're having the time of our lives. We're playing all kinds of fun gigs, opening for bands I never thought I'd even see, let alone open for.
Yeah.
And we fucking laugh it off and just keep going. Like, it's not a big, it is a big deal, but it's not a big deal. And I've been in bands where it's like, this is super important. We gotta, guys, if this show doesn't go good, it's all over. And it's like, we're playing Burns on a Wednesday night. And I love Burns. But
we don't play Burns on a Wednesday
No.
night anymore.
no, I mean,
Hey, we all been there. It's all
Yeah.
part of the process.
That's definitely the difference too. Is we know the show's not to play now too. Like,
yeah.
there's some times where I'll get or the message on on Facebook will be like, hey, can you play this show? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll ask the guys. And then 4 minutes later, I won't ask the guys, and I'll be like, no, nobody can make it. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's like 20 people that were just like, God damn it, I knew it.
Yeah. He responded too quick. I know where Monty is, and he wasn't around to be asked.
I was talking to him.
Yes.
It's also nice to be at a level where you can actually turn down a gig and just
Sure.
be comfortable with it. Right?
We turned down gigs.
Lots. That's what the ones the abductees play. Are the ones that we
I was actually going to go there. Thank
What band is that?
you. Crab ductees.
I'd say they're B-list, but I read the B-list and they're not on it.
For the best list.
Oh. Thank you.
Be for best.
B for boobs!
I'm having a really good time. I'm all fired up now.
Yeah.
I'm having an awesome time.
Best part about JSM, Monday nights are jam night, and I had a shitty Monday this week at work. Then I got to hang out with my buds,
I
and
didn't know
everything was
that.
super happy. Oh, I didn't. You didn't fucking see it. Because I was hanging out and we had fun.
So now we're having a great Tuesday.
Yeah?
I'm already sad all the time anyway. I don't need your shit, Glenn.
Fuck, that's dark.
So do you guys still, like, once a week is kind of your...
Yeah, Mondays seem to be the thing. Seems to work.
I mean, we try and like do a little stuff on the side to like bring something to jam. I mean, obviously it'd be nice to, if you were like pro super band.
Well, whenever the next album is booked.
Yeah, we'll just have that. I'll just
We'll
have that
write
booked
it
in
again.
studio.
What will happen is every day. It's so cool how that works. You know, I think deadlines are definitely the musician's best friend. Where it's
Yes.
like, hey, if you got nothing going on, but man, we always have something going on. We always have a crazy cool show to announce. We always have new recordings to be doing and releasing. It's not the fastest train, but it's steady and it is consistent and it is fucking the funnest train I've ever partied on ever. So there you go.
I've been in a lot of trains.
Just end this interview on that note.
I've been in a lot of trains.
Interview done.
Yikes.
So I guess how does this, how do songs come together with you guys? Like, is it like one person taking the lead and coming with like, say, a riff or something, or do you guys kind of jam it out until you find something?
Every song's different, really.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it depends.
We usually do. There's usually someone that kind of says, "Hey, like I got a little riff, I got this thing, I got this idea," you know. And sometimes somebody brings a more fully formed idea. But it's part of why it's like, you know, we've been harping so much on this camaraderie and this friendship and all this kind of like hanging out with each other, because nothing is ever the same after it's been taken by everybody else in the band.
Yep.
So you can have an idea about something, and like I'm like a really big like, oh, I wrote the song, it goes like this and this, and then everyone starts playing it and this changes and that goes, and you're like, we're
Like
all
inside your head, you're like, no.
Yeah. Sean, this part is garbage! It's garbage!
well, and it, you know, it's we're all better together. We're the best as the sum of our parts. Is that the way you say it? Yeah.
Sure.
Like, there's no way that what we do would come across if it was like hey, I'm fucking Liam shitty ass Gallagher or whatever his name is, play it this way. We don't work that way. We play it our way, and everyone has input, and everyone's ideas are valid.
Yeah, it's a great way for Gallagher to get his ass kicked to show that attitude.
Yeah, I can't wait to kick that guy's ass at the Music Awards in like 2 more years.
He's gonna be there.
Yeah. Can't wait to just eclipse his irrelevancy with JSM.
But eclipse his irrelevance.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm more irrelevant than you. Fuck you. Gallagher.
That's a great song name, Eclipsing Irrelevancy. Like,
all right, we'll write that on Monday.
Dude, can't wait for you to be
that's gonna be on the new album.
Yeah, that's happening. It's true.
That's the way
Like,
it works usually for songs too. We'll just be laughing about something,
yeah.
and then Darren will have all the lyrics written for the song.
Yeah,
that's like an
it's
inside
just
joke.
over the top. Yeah, we've had a few of those. Like even Johnny, like he doesn't play guitar, he doesn't play bass, but he's just as much a song contributor as the rest of us. He's like, okay, what about this part? What if we do like double chorus there or a half chorus? And you're like, okay, yeah, figure it out. Everybody's got ideas.
Everyone has a part to bring to this band, so that's what
Absolutely.
it comes down to.
awesome.
Yeah, and you guys talk drums? Jackaduka, jackaduka, jackaduka.
Blacku.
Yep. They get into drum talk. Yeah.
What about the drum face? Is there like a wicked drum face that goes on?
Johnny's got some weird ones.
Only when he shits his pants.
Yeah.
You can put that on the record.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like there's a story there.
There is. And there's a behind the
Which
scenes
story
montage.
would you like? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole behind-the-scenes video that I made of us like recording our music video we did for Change, and we were outside having a cigarette, and Darren told like a funny story, and John was laughing. He's like, "Oh," and then he kind of like waddled away.
Then he waddled away.
And he
We're not-
came
we're
back
not
and was like,
joking, yeah,
I
like-
just shit myself. So he had to play like more takes, like playing drums in this video with a shitty ass.
Yeah, he said he just stuffed his underwear full of paper towel from the washroom and stuff just to kind of like try and soak it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you're ever watching our music video and you're looking at Johnny and he's playing the drums in the music video,
Close up,
for
every
change-
close-up shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poopy pants John.
You think you're lucky stars? It's not smell-o-vision.
Oh, I fall in like
We just smell like beer. Beer and swass.
I guess, like, since you guys do have so much experience in the music, like with the music scene and stuff like that, if you could give one piece of advice to, say, somebody who is just starting out, like maybe even if you could go back in time and give it back to, you know, your own self, like what would that be?
Simple. Practice your ass off. And also go to school and get an oil job so you can get drunk at 2 in the afternoon. Tuesday.
You ain't gonna make money doing this.
And don't get hung up on everybody else's politics in music or this scene. Just do your own thing and do it well. And let people come to you. Don't follow somebody else.
Awesome.
I want to second that, the end of that, and then just say like, the amount of times, you know, you hear people say, I want to sound like this, or I want to do this. You can have inspiration, and you can love the way that other people do things, but the only thing you're ever going to do that ever makes a wave in this world is exactly what you're able to do. That's the only original thing you're ever given. There's no other way to do anything original.
And is that why you and I have never started a Limp Bizkit tribute act?
That's exactly why.
I thought so. I was suspicious, I thought.
And that's the only reason, right?
Yes.
Just take what you do and amplify it to a million. Like that's it. Like just and you're gonna suck at it at first, and then after like 15 years that you're finally gonna join a band with Darren, and then it's just gonna fucking go through the roof, and it's so good.
We got more band members coming.
Yeah, they're growing, they're forming. You're gonna trade us in for the newer model?
One more, but how has music changed you as a person?
Well, I'm gay now. Just kidding, I'm not. Well, I might be. You don't know.
Rich, take it.
It really helped me. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Dad.
Do you have my sweater vest?
It helped me like when I first started playing in bands to like break out of the shell of like the insane introvert that just never talks to anybody, and like just being on stage, and it just helped balance me out as a person. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh man, I feel like I want to speak for Rich. Like over the years that I've seen him, he's played in all these bands and just like the getting to know him and being like friends with you, bud. It's like I think music is I think for a lot of us it's like it's gonna sound like super cheesy to be like it's like a healing power. It's a because like drugs are healing, I guess, in a way.
Like
But
antibiotics?
in some way, I think it's like for me at least, it's an anchor. I love that Glenn just chips in this.
I'm helping. I'm helping your ramble.
I know
I'm
where
making
you're
it
going
better.
with this.
I am the
Thank you. I
paprika
know.
on your life.
Nobody likes paprika. What have you ever put paprika on and been like, yeah, that's the fucking thing it was missing?
I can name 2 body parts.
That paprika goes on? Whoa.
Have you? Are you done?
I'm fine. I'm
I'm sorry,
talk
I
a
didn't mean
lot.
to derail you.
I'm paprika Sean.
Thank you, Hammy. I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It's a pretty standard feeling, I think, among most musicians that it is good for you to play music, to express yourself, to get things out that you otherwise couldn't deal with. For me, music has always been like emotional content is in the melody and the beat, and the lyrics are the intellectual content. And you combine the two and you have a thought and a feeling and an expression. Good, bad, ugly, happy, sad. It's all music.
There you go.
Sometimes you're beautiful, Glenn, and other times
I like to masturbate
you're on
upside
the
down.
way to beautiful.
And he just ruins it every time.
For me personally, music has allowed me to be weird as hell.
You're
And
still
you-
talking.
I know. And,
You did great. Yeah,
and
You did great.
Closed-
Yeah,
closed
I'm
it.
done. Okay.
You did great.
Paprika!
Awesome. So is there any kind of like final thoughts that you guys wanted to throw out there?
Check us out online. Check out our videos on YouTube. Change. It's a banger. Buy our new records. Come see us live.
And
If you don't know us, check it out because you're going to regret that you don't know us.
Group of the year.
Because we're the group of the year. And to all you metal bands out there, yeah, suck it.
If you liked this episode of the podcast, why not leave a review? You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. For up-to-date information on the podcast, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can find us at Froggy Style Productions. That's Frog, the letter E, Style Productions. For more ways to support the show, visit fsproductions.ca.